You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Pop Culture Gamers podcast. My name is Haydn. It's show number 125 on the 4th of July, and I'm here with Steve. Steve, how are you?
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Yes,
Well, especially
indeed.
to our American friends, because it's more to do with them than us.
Yes, definitely.
And
not
the
an
aliens
English one.
have not blown up anything, have they talked? Have you heard any news yet? Or has any zombie apocalypse happened from
No, I think
Return of the Living Dead?
I think Joe Biden's still there. The White House is not being exploded.
No
So-
plane saucers hovering over different parts of the world, so we're all good for the show then.
Yeah, all good.
Marvellous.
So, how are you, Steve? What's new in your world?
Not a lot, really. Just a bit of a catch-up to talk earlier, just about my blood clots that I've got at the moment. They're still there, apparently. Well, they should be still there to a certain degree, but I'm going to have a CT scan and another blood test in the coming weeks, which I will not be looking forward to. I do not like that CT scan. It's a bit horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll wait and see on that. They're going to just run some tests and just to see where we are, see if they've disappeared, because I'm still on medication. Much more to say about that, really, but I just need to lose a bit of weight because that doesn't help either.
Mm.
And we all know the COVID belly is still sitting here from God knows how long. But yeah, I had a nice little chat with my consultant. Actually, the consultant was one of the top guys at Bournemouth for that, what I was dealing with. So yeah, but moving onwards and upwards and forwards, backwards, try and keep going. Yeah, good fun.
Mm.
Not much else. Did we say a few pre-orders? Even as we speak, we've done one tonight that you've already got. So
Yeah.
do you want to
The
mention
one I
it?
told you about. Yes.
Because I missed my emails.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. Unusual, Steve was not the first one to pounce on this one, but the Space 1999 CD and vinyls, the soundtracks on the Fanderson store. So I've dropped that, and you have as well.
Yeah. Seasons 1. There can be music for seasons 1 and 2.
Yes. And they look like silver records as well,
Silver or
white. It's
white.
hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah. it
I'm
is.
sure it'll be all white, whichever way it is.
From the gaming point of view, I have also pre-ordered, and I did own this digitally somewhere, even on a CD. But I think the CD came with the PlayStation game back in the day, if I remember rightly. Metal Gear Solid 2 soundtrack, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
That's my favourite out of the series. That'd be great to have that. That's also going to include some of the actual music, obviously the score. But remember that beginning intro when he's in the coming out the submarine and
Yeah,
that haunting bit of music as he surfaces.
I know what you mean. I'm sort of like debating, shall I go back and retrospectively add in the "bwee" sort of sound after you say that?
Yeah, no, you need to actually. I would. It looks pretty cool actually. That's on the Mondo website. Anything else? Oh yeah, I'm a fan of Flock of Seagulls. It's a bit of sting in the tail for that because I was supposed to see them back in the 80s. We broke down on the flyover at Hammersmith. My mate's car had a head gasket go bing, and we never got there, so I never got to see them. But on their website there, they've got a deal for the Ascension album, which is I think a lot of bands are doing this of late now. I've got Midyear did one similar to where they have like an orchestra playing with them. So I had a little listen to that and thought, oh, I love that, brilliant. So I've pre-order stuff. I think every month this month there's something on pre-order, and some other stuff is still waiting in the background because Bethesda are still trying to print plastic plants or whatever. I don't know for vinyl, but we'll see.
I know I've got a few, a couple of pre-orders, but
my Zavvi orders are going to they're going to be there forever, I reckon.
Well, oh yeah, it's June, isn't it? That's my Zavvi order. That's the only thing I've got on order other than the Jerry Anderson stuff at the moment.
Another one more gaming other soundtrack I've had on pre-order since probably 4 or 5 months ago, and that's the Persona 5 soundtrack.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I don't know when that's supposed to be due. I've not seen anything more from Xavi yet. They're sort of slow on the heels, aren't they, these guys?
Yes, yeah. An asthmatic ant with a lack of a sense of direction is faster than Xavi sometimes. Other times they're like Speedy Gonzales, but I actually had something that was 2 months after the launch date and I still hadn't supplied it, so I just cancelled the order and got it next day on Amazon.
Yeah, because I've got Amazon I've had a few Blu-rays that I've pre-ordered because again, it's something you have to wait for. And I've got a couple, and I think the albums I've got on there, which have been just Bethesda keep putting back the what do you call it? They keep putting back the date for when it's being released. Now it could be due to pressing plants. So I'm just going to my Xavi account. What I've got pre-ordering because I say we're talking 4 months ago. Some of this. So the Mass Effect soundtrack, remember that when that was pre-ordered? Came out? Skyrim soundtrack, that was back in February. So but that's fine. I mean, they'll come when they come. I think I think even actually the Persona soundtrack I ordered last year, believe it or not. So yeah, still processing. You know what it's like, when they got that little line going across the screen, isn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think it's going to go a little bit closer to the end to say dispatch.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
If it doesn't, no, it doesn't. Any other thing? What's it? I'm going back to the cinema. Woo! It feels like nearly 2 years since I last went. I can't even remember what I see in the cinema last. But I'm going on my own. Billy no makes this time because the wife doesn't want to go, and that's fine by me. Because I'm just going to enjoy a good Q&A with the Sparks brothers, Ron and Russell Mel, with one of your favourite directors as well, from Shaun of the Dead. So there's a live Q&A with Edgar Wright and the guys, followed by the documentary afterwards. So
that should be good.
That's going simultaneously. That Q&A, I should imagine, is in every cinema that's going to be showing on the day of it when it's coming out. So I can't wait for that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, sounds it.
And Waxworks, again, here's something else. Waxworks Records have got the rights for the soundtrack.
Okay.
And it's going to be, because they've been out for 50 years now, Sparks. They've got a lot of content out there. It's a 4-album soundtrack.
Nice.
With selections from each of their each every 10 years they've got a big selection there with some favourites of mine on it. So other than that, not a lot else going on. Bit of Destiny 2, a little bit of chat about that because I've been hammering it like you wouldn't believe. Me and Mark have been on every Saturday night and every Friday night.
I know. I saw you on last night and the night before when I was playing Assassin's Creed.
We had some good fun, but we'll say a little bit of chat about that later. And I've been getting closer to a few little bits and pieces that the grind has been really enjoyable, to be honest. So, how about yourself anyway? You been doing much?
A couple of things. First off, I've booked to see Elton John on his final tour.
Is it really his final tour? Do you think it is?
It's been advertised as such, so it's
if he goes back and does another one, you can have him for that.
Yeah. So it's the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour. It's being advertised at the moment a lot on TV, with Ticketmaster and stuff like that. But no, we've booked, the three of us are going to go and see, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing that. There's quite a few venues, across the country that you can get to go and see.
I'm assuming Wembley's one of them as well, isn't it? I think.
I don't know. We didn't look that far down south, but you can cite Manchester, Sunderland, and other places. So. Yeah, there's that, but that's not until next year, so it's going to be a long wait.
Just forget about it. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, and then
put a note in the diary to remind yourself. As long as you don't move and you forget all about it, and then the tickets go to your old address.
Well, Ticketmaster sends you something to put in your calendar.
Yeah,
which is good, as long as it doesn't give you a reminder 15 minutes beforehand. So there's that, and also I've started doing a university course.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I got told a lot of universities are doing free courses. So I'm doing one with the University of Edinburgh, and it's about philosophy.
Oh, okay.
So I've always wanted to learn philosophy of, I found out that you can get these introductory sort of courses for free. Basically, it delivers the course by a video and sends you stuff that you can read, lots of reading. And there's also tests as well. It is a proper course, believe it or not. They only last about 5 or 6 weeks, but there's some interesting stuff, and it gets heavy very, very quickly.
Heavy?
Yeah. Well, you remember The Good Place, where they were talking about Kant
of
that? Yeah? Well, I'm already learning all about them, and I'm only on week 1.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I bet that is going to be a head. You just, to do your heading, excuse me while I'm just pouring out water. Just keep yourself refreshed. So what'd you get at the end of it?
Well, if you pay, you can either do the course for free and just get the enjoyment of doing it, or you can pay like about £35, something like that, and you get a certificate from the university. I'm not sure I'm going to bother with the certificate. It's not like it's going to be a career changer for me or anything, but
it would be nice to have it though, wouldn't it?
I suppose, yeah. And there's lots of subjects that you can learn about. If virtually every subject that you can possibly think about, there's ones there.
Klingon, for example, I'm sure.
And I don't think quite Klingon. I don't think they've got any teaching by Mark Okanda there at all. But there is a lot of different subjects.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought I might as well have a look and give it a go. It's free. I don't have to pay for the certificate if I don't want to.
Yeah.
But like you said, it is assessed properly as well. So and they encourage you to do sort of like peer reviews and stuff like that as well. So some interesting sort of subjects in terms of philosophy, talking about, what does it mean to be someone, as it were.
Okay.
There's sort of like I think therefore I am sort of stuff, but also there's going to be lectures on like discussing time travel and aliens and stuff like that as well. So I thought, cool, all the stuff I'm into, I can wax lyrical on these subjects for ages. So yeah, that's what I've been doing basically. And it doesn't take up a great deal of time. It takes up as much time as you really want to put in it, because, like I said, there is a load of reading to go with it. It's a university course. Of course, there's going to be loads of reading. But some of it is optional. So, it's sort of like if you just want to get that extra bit of learning for yourself. I'm finding it quite interesting because a lot of like the philosophers that were discussed on The Good Place, I'm finding out about what sort of philosophy that they did. So it's actually quite interesting from a very different sort of angle. But I've not done a university course for a lot of years now. I've got 3 postgrads, and I just felt like I needed to do something to just do something a little bit more intellectual than watching movies and playing games, basically. So I thought, I'll do this if it's free.
No, it's what's the word? Broadening your horizons. You can sort of be a Sigmund Freud sort of type.
Yeah, well, I mean, philosophy is always something I've always wanted to do more. I wanted to do sort of like an A-level in philosophy or something like that, but nowhere does it. So, or at least nowhere near me seems to do an A-level philosophy course. So I thought, well, this is the nearest I'm going to probably get, other than, some sort of distance learning course from a university. So I might as well see, actually, am I going to enjoy it as a subject? And it's really quite interesting in terms of the difference between philosophy as a subject and, like, for example, scientific discovery and a scientific method and that sort of stuff, in terms of, one is about how stuff works, the other one is trying to work out what's the best way of working something out, as it were. It's something obviously that we all, everybody talks and argues and debates subjects. I mean, we've done it for years on this show, various different things as well. And effect, it's a philosophical argument in a sort of way. but this is just sort of like putting a structure in about that framework of thinking around it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I just feel like I'm needing something like this for ages. So other than that, not an awful lot been happening. So it's just been quite quiet, as these things are when you're working from home.
Yeah. Certainly is the case for that, I must admit. So, anything else?
No, that's it. Shall we go on to our gaming this week?
No longer a dream, but a reality.
All right, so gaming this week, and we've got a few bits of news. First off, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has been announced. This is a 4K 60 FPS on the PlayStation 5, and it's going to be available from the 20th of August. It will be made available as a full price game, £70 on PS5, £60 on Xbox, evidently. If you already own the game, however, I understand that there is an upgrade package for £20 for the PS4 to £30 for the PS5. And it will also give you access to a 16-hour expansion for Iki Island.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
And evidently the Director's Cut also has full lip syncing for the Japanese audio as well, if you decide to play it that way.
Yes, because I was doing the grain look, and I've had it in Japanese for a while before to give that feel of there with a samurai sword. I need to go back to that at some point. Put PlayStation 4 on.
You really need to complete it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be tough to do it now, though. I imagine at the moment. But,
why?
Well, I don't have enough time. I'm not an insomniac like you. I do work. I work a lot of hours.
Yeah, but you could, instead of doing Groundhog Day and doing Destiny, you could do something new.
We're having so much fun with that at the minute. So.
Okay, fair enough. Other Sony news is Sony has purchased House Marquee, the creators of Returnal.
Okay, that sounds familiar from them. Was that a PlayStation exclusive by any chance?
It was a PlayStation exclusive I talked about 6 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a sci-fi game, that one. But that's just another thing showing obviously going to be showing their support for having lots of exclusive titles. So, yeah, I think it's probably good news for Sony fans.
They need a bit of love, don't they, at the minute?
Well, I did actually see someone somewhere, I don't think it was in our group, but it was in another group, had posted some hardware sales that was showing that the Switch in this country was evidently the highest at about 135,000. And the next highest one at about, I think it was 95,000, was Xbox Series X, followed by the PS5 at about 75,000.
Yeah, there's a lot of different buts in how that works, because depending who can get as many consoles out in the world as well.
Yeah, I mean it's a false numbering at the moment. Anyway, all that shows is potentially that Microsoft has maybe better manufacturing process.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Sony, who knows? I mean, Sony still has the biggest player install base anyway.
I'm not sure. I don't really know. I mean, you can say that, but I don't know what the full figures are. They're always to and fro in between the two of them, so I ignore it, really.
Personally, I don't see what the problem is, why they just don't release the figures, because it doesn't really make that much difference to the companies, because they know how much that they're selling and whether or not they've got the right profit or loss. It's only of interest to the fans.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, on the Xbox side, Phil Spencer has confirmed that the Xbox will not be getting a hardware refresh anytime soon.
Yeah, there's a podcast. Sorry, things and thumbs and tied tongue here. Yeah, there's a podcast I'd need to listen to. You've got an interview with him.
Yeah.
I think it was with Gamertag Radio. I've already downloaded it and I'll listen to it when I'm doing nights tomorrow night. So give me a nice excuse to put something on and be quiet and travel up to wherever I'm going. But yeah, and they've been talking about the exclusivity of games at the minute, and because people don't seem to think that this Bethesda thing is a real deal, as in exclusivity. And, you know, I think unfortunately it is. It's a real thing, and you know, you're gonna have to have 2 consoles to play the game. Simple as that. But some people are going down the other route, getting a PlayStation and vice versa. So there's quite a lot with both consoles.
I think that the fandom is very different this time round than it was the last gen. There was very definite camps last time, but I think we've seen people who were very Xbox suddenly buying PlayStation games, which really surprised the hell out of me, considering those people's views on it on PlayStation. And then we've seen people equally on the PlayStation side buying Xbox because of things like Game Pass. So I think that hopefully finally we're getting past some of the more stupid elements of the fandom base, because at the end of the day we're all gamers, we all like games. You know, who cares about all of the sort of technical stuff other than the programmers? It's about the experience that you get as a gamer. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Anyway,
shall I read the Elder Scrolls one, because you spelled that wrong?
Did I? Okay.
Yeah, the Todd Howard. It's confirmed that the Elder Scrolls 6 is in development. We knew it was. It's not coming for a while because it's still working on Starfield, although they are starting to have a look at it. And they've announced that the creation engine will be used in Starfield as well as Elder Scrolls 6. But it's a little way off yet.
A little way.
But yeah, time just flies sometimes. But yeah, obviously you can't say too much, but I'm sure there's people working on both at the moment. They've got to tidy up Starfield for later. OCD kicked in there then, didn't it?
Yeah.
Dead Space we mentioned last week, didn't we?
Yes, we did mention it last week. There is a remake. Well, we said that there was a new game coming, but we didn't have the details. Evidently, the suggestion is that it's a remake of the original rather than a new one. Which I think, personally, I think that out of all of the older games, probably Dead Space is the one that has aged almost the least.
But
and
again,
especially
because it's a space environmental, it doesn't age from a point of view.
Yeah.
Because it's not set in a time that you recognise, because it doesn't matter.
But I mean, in the look, you know, in terms of the look and the just everything to do with the graphics and all of that, and the gameplay, I don't feel that game is aged to the point of maybe like Mass Effect looked more aged than Dead Space 1 and 2 did, I thought.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you know, it's just an interesting thing. A couple of other ones. Sam Houser from Rockstar, after he left the company, is now started his own studio called Absurd Ventures in Gaming. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. And there's also a rumour that Konami and Bloober are making a Silent Hill game.
Well, I know what I'd heard was
Hideo Kojima.
He's working with Xbox for a game. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah. No, evidently this is a separate project on Silent Hill with Bloober and Konami. But Hideo Kojima is said to be working with Xbox under a new deal, which is involving Cloud Ventures and the technology there, but there's not any details about it. And currently the details of that arrangement are being ironed out by lawyers, and the paperwork's all, you know, still quite wet there. So I don't think that there's any details particularly available about what's being produced, although it's hinted it might be Silent Hill.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see probably a remake would be nice. The same way that we've seen Resident Evil go down that route.
And I'll tell you another one that you could do as well is Alone in the Dark, because that was another sort of like horror one. Wasn't
that one with I say Jack Bauer? I always say it. Wasn't he in that one? Or he was doing the voiceover for it?
Well, there's a lot of Alone in the Dark games.
It was, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I say Jack Bauer, that's just one of the characters he's played. But
Kiefer Sutherland.
thank you. Yeah, I'm sure he did. On one of them. Also, you say Silent Hill. That is again one of those ones that's close to my heart. From even sometimes when I play the album with that music, it just gets to me. It was such a good game. When you play it now, though, it does feel a bit dated, but it's nice to sometimes just dig it out and enter into that weird, bizarre world.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, do you want to do the new releases?
So, Games for Gold. 1st of July, we have got Planet Alpha.
Hang on, new releases.
Oh, sorry.
You're on the wrong page.
Oh my god. Okay, new releases. Mask Maker, PSVR on the 2nd to the 7th. We have on the 6th to the 7th, we've got Ender Lilies, Quietness of the Night, PS4 and PS5. Black Skylands on the PC on the 9th to the 7th. Also including on that, we've got Monster Hunter Story 2, Wings of the Ruin on PC and Switch. I presume that says there, because it's like typo error from you there.
Yeah. Do you ever play Monster Hunter on the Xbox?
No. I think I've got it on the PlayStation though.
Well, your PlayStation only gets switched on for getting the dust out of the fans, so I know you're not playing it on there.
Well, no, I think I have got it on there. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I always go. I'm going to maybe we'll talk about it in a minute. I mean, if there's a game that I'm after on PlayStation, it's free. It's free. Oh, we'll probably download it, but yeah, we'll get into that in a second.
God, I do the Games for Gold.
Yeah, so one of my favourites. So between I say it's a bit weird how this works. 1st of July to the 31st, we've got Planet Alpha, which I've just suddenly downloaded now.
Really good game, that one as well. It's like Inside, but sci-fi alien world sort of thing. And
another favourite of mine from the Xbox originals is Conker. So I should look forward to playing that. From the 16th to the 31st, we have got, and I cannot read this because it's too tiny again, we've got the
Rock of Ages 3.
Rock of Ages 3 and the Midway arcade games.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that is. So, yeah, do you want to do the going and comings?
Yeah, the Game Pass. So, coming on the 1st of July for Game Pass, so already come, is Banjo-Kazooie, Nuts and Bolts, Bug Fables, The Everlasting Sapling, Gang Beasts, Immortal Realms, Vampire Wars, and Limbo. So they're on a variety of cloud, console, and PC. On the 6th of July is Plague's Tale Innocence on the console, Xbox Series X. And then on the 15th, we have Space Jam: A New Legacy, available through Xbox Game Pass perks on the 1st of July as well. We got Chris Tales on cloud, console, and PC on the 20th. Microsoft Flight Simulator on console on the 27th. And the Ascent cloud, console, and PC on the 29th. Leaving the console, we've got Battle Chasers, Night War, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Mistover, Monster Hunter World cloud and console, Out of the Park Baseball 21 on the PC, Outer Worlds on the cloud and console, Soul Calibur 6 on console, and The Messenger on cloud, console, and PC.
Ironically, I mean, do you want to go to PlayStation Plus for Reddit as well, just for a minute as well?
Yeah, so PlayStation Plus, we've got a Plague Tale Innocence, Call of Duty Black Ops, and Battlegrounds are available right now on PlayStation Plus, or shortly. Actually, it'll be shortly, won't it? It's first Tuesday of the month, isn't it, that they normally do it?
That's the 7th, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. So a couple of days' time. And also on PlayStation now is Watch Dogs 2, which will be able for download and stream on the PS4 only. Hello Neighbor and Street Fighter 5.
So the Plague Tale Innocence, isn't that the third of the three?
The first.
Is that the first of the trilogy?
Yeah.
There's three of them, isn't there?
Well, the other two haven't been released yet.
Haven't they?
No, because one of the next one in line was the one that was shown on the Xbox presentation for E3, wasn't it?
I thought two of them were already out. Am I thinking of something different then?
I think you're thinking of something different. This is the one where you control mice and rats as a little kid.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of another couple of games that were having that sort of FMV, pointy, clicky sort of idea.
No, that's not what this is.
Forget that then.
Do you want to do the Twitch games?
Okay, so for Twitch, God, we have.
Do you want me?
Yeah, because that's
Do you want me to do it?
This is like you should look. Come on, you should know by now.
Mate.
My eyesight ain't what it used to be.
There's a little circle with a line coming off it. That's called the magnifying glass. Just use that to zoom in.
Well,
we've got Portal. Right, from the 2nd of August, we've got offering ends rather 2nd of August. Portal Dogs, Rad, The Secret of Monkey Island Special Edition, Automa Chief, Batman: The Enemy Within, The Wanderer, Frankenstein's Creature, and Tales of the Neon Sea.
Keep going. You might as well carry on there because we're way around it.
Then on Epic right now, we have the Spectrum Retreat, which is available until the 8th of July. And then after that, we've got Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead. I didn't even know there was a Walking Dead version of that. And then Ironcast as well, both of which will be free.
Cool. And I've just been on to Twitch Prime because I've just picked up another FIFA pack, if you're interested in doing that. And also Destiny 2 has got another, actually on their website I just downloaded another engram, plus the Twitch Prime I've got a couple of bits and pieces for you as well. So I just downloaded that as well.
Yeah. For anybody who's playing that old dead game.
We were talking about you last night, Mark. Me was saying about we could invite Haydn. I said no, don't even go there because he won't come on board. He won't. He says he's too low level.
I am too low level. I'm way too low level now. I mean, what my you're over 100 light level behind me. That would take hours.
This season has got well. Wait a minute, but yeah, cool. Anyway.
Go on, you talk about this season now.
Well, yeah, I haven't got really enough to talk about.
You just said all this about this season.
Yes, but this season has still got a little way to go, actually. Believe it or not, it's very much extended.
How long's it extended till?
I will tell you now, if I just go back onto the game, because my sound of my voice might go a bit different. So anyway, what I've been up to is I'm now one little law book away from completing Season of the Splicer. But that hasn't been revealed yet, so there's probably another little bit to do to just pick that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Been enjoying that. Also, I've completed the gold seal, which is on top of the gold seal of Gambit as well. So that has been done. That was a bit of a tough one to do, but I like Gambit, so that was pretty cool to do there. Just enjoying the game. I think this season I've really, really, really enjoyed it. We're going to have there's another some nerves and buffs coming up next week as well for some new content and some game. They just sort of tweaking the Crucible. But yeah, me and Mark, we've been popping on every Friday and Saturday night, and probably tonight as well actually if he decides to. The England game got in the way while for some of us. But yeah, just thoroughly enjoying this season. It's going to be on. I think it's going to be on for much longer now. I'll tell you in a minute while you're rabbiting on about what you want to talk about when the game's booting back up.
Always good to know that Steve's so interested in what I've got to say about what games
I did rabbiting
on about.
If I would have said what it was, then I thought let you reveal what you've been playing, not me.
Okay.
Go on, carry on.
Well, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origin. I've been continuing the story for that. It's the second time I've played through the actual campaign itself. I completed it first time on PlayStation, but decided to play it on the Xbox this time for whatever reason. Really enjoying the story, although as with... I didn't find this as much with Odyssey, but I definitely did find it with Valhalla, is the slog of leveling up.
Is that getting to be a bit of a grind, is it?
Yeah, it is, because it is slow going. I'm level 34, 35 in the game now, which is quite high. I mean, it didn't help that I decided to restart the game from scratch when I was already level 16. So, I've gone back and redone an awful lot of the game. But once you start getting up some of the higher levels, there is an awful lot more of a slog to get from one level to the other, even though the amount of XP that you get from completing quests is so much more. But I'm near the end. I think I've got a couple of targets left to kill before I've completed the main story.
But you're still enjoying it though, yeah?
Yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I think it's just the slog of the XP that is the main problem. I've mastered all of the different branches of the skill tree,
Yeah.
I've still not unlocked everything, but I've unlocked most of the stuff and master on each, the 3 different things that you get, the hunter, the combat, and whatever the other one is.
Yeah,
Stealth,
cool.
Equivalent of stealth, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And got absolutely loads of equipment, but it's one of those games that if you get equipment, weapons and that thrown at you in the game, but most of the time they're not worth anything other than the crunch down sort of value, and it's very much like Destiny in terms of the fact that you get blue stuff, or you get your purple, or you get your yellow stuff, and yellow stuff's the best sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because Mark was pretty shocked at me, even though I'm a bit of a hoarder in Destiny too. And I went all the stuff that's no good to me anymore. I cleaned out my vault, got it down to about 350, I think, maybe a bit less than that. All those guns that are now not going to be any good to us because their levels are capped at what it is. Yeah, I'm full up again now. But I've got 7 or 8 guns of each of what I've been actually picking up. So I need to go through there and see which ones are decent rolls and then delete the others. Yeah, which one's got the god roll and. Exactly, yeah. Just to let you know though, the Season Splicer, believe it or not, has got 50 days and 21 hours left. Okay, so potentially I could get to complete the 100. Oh, well, I'm on 142 at the minute. Mark's on about 250, I think. Yeah. But it is a good season. I've really enjoyed it. I think they've extended it because of what's going to happen next. That's been pushed back a little bit maybe, because we've not had any news from Bungie yet. But I know with adding of the extra weapons as well, and obviously nerfing and buffing certain weapons that are going to upset a few people, getting hand cannons and stuff like that. But yeah, it's what I've been enjoying really is the exotic runs we've been doing. So we're doing the Harbinger run, which is for the Thorn hand cannon. We've now done that about 3 or 4 times, that one. Yeah. And we've been really lucky with the third person on LFG, and we've been caning them in. The same with the Dead Man's Tail weapon as well. It's been really, really good just going through those exotic quests. Really picked up the pace with those. But, yeah, I like it. That's what I like about that. It's good fun. I do wish that they would do cross-platform. Well, depends on Sony, doesn't it? Well, why not just do it with PC? Well, I think because I think that is a thing that's going to happen. But I think if it's from competitive side of things, you can have the option of yes or no to that. Obviously, PC will win hands down with reactions. Well, keyboard and mouse. Hang on, though. The Xbox, you can plug in a keyboard and mouse. I don't know if you can on Destiny, but why not just open it up so that you can plug in a keyboard and mouse to your Xbox? If you got the room. If you got the room to do that on a table or something and get comfortable, maybe, yeah. But there's that Microsoft peripheral, isn't there? That is the keyboard. But what I'm saying is, depending how you're set up in your room, if you're going to, all depends on that. But yeah, we're really having good times with it, and just getting that third person has been really easy. Well, we were saying that last night on we were doing the Dead Man's Tail quest again. And we got to the big boss and we both died. So the guy that with us decided to just jack off and leave. I thought, oh, okay. And I said, he's probably a 5-year-old waiting for his dinner and his mum's called him downstairs. But we were still able to finish him off with a breach and clear for those mods to kill the character. And we went and got another good roll with that weapon, So, yeah, you should just, even just for a bit of fun, just come on board. And, it doesn't matter about being a lower level. If you have your little grind and start doing that season. But I'll think about it. I'll think about it because I'm just put off on the Groundhog Day sort of stuff at the moment with it. I just want to do, I've been quite enjoying playing lots and lots of different games. Oh, I know you have. Yeah, I get that. So, I mean, I'm now, I think, 36,000 away from 500. We see that's the other push for you though, isn't it? Is that you can. Yeah, that is one thing which is I'm going to play new games which I'm going to enjoy anyway, of course. But yeah, the actual incentive there to crank up your gamer score. Yeah, it's become an obsession. I need a possession. You need help. You need to go and get hold of someone and have a chat with them. Yeah, I need to get a life. Stand up in the room. Yes,
Yeah,
I
well,
am a gamer store hog, and I can't help it.
Yeah, I'm a gamer score hall. Yeah, because my gamer score so far on the 4th this month is 6,285.
Yeah, that's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, but we all have our things that we like to do on gaming.
Yeah, I mean,
don't we?
it's all, I like the social aspect anyway as well. Personally, it's a good thing to do from that point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I do miss us playing games. I'm just so sick of Destiny at the moment. That's the thing. Maybe if I pick it up, I'll feel different.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because we're doing more runs of exotic quests and stuff like that. And there's a couple other ones we want to try out.
But I think as well, I'm put off by a controller to play it now because I'm so used to playing it on keyboard, and I so like playing it on keyboard as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this to you loads of times. Playing it on a PC is transformative on that game. It makes it a lot better.
Moving on.
He never listens to me. One of these days.
And if someone wants to buy me a full gaming PC, then I'll give it a go. But until that day happens, it won't be happening in a million years.
I don't think we're doing a crowdfunding for you to get it.
Well, we could do, couldn't we? So Steve actually plays on a PC, and then we'll stream it live, unboxing it and all that.
Yeah, they get Steve to play Destiny on anything other than an Xbox.
Yeah, I actually deleted it off the PlayStation as well at the moment.
I know you did. Thinking of your PlayStation, do you still have your PlayStation vertical?
No. Funnily enough, it's now back as it was, sitting in there.
Oh, right. So you decided to risk it and move it then?
Yeah, and it's fine.
That's weird.
That's PlayStation for you, though, isn't it? It's odd. It's really odd.
Yeah.
I thought I'll give it a go. I'll just turn it on its side, and I left it. I just tried. I didn't put it back in the same position as it was before. I just turned it around, put it on, sort of right. Let's see what happens. And it's been fine ever since.
Oh, well.
Saying that, I was going to put the last disc back in there. He won't play it again now.
Might just be a dodgy disc.
Well, no. Any disc, isn't it? I've tried so many different discs on it.
Yeah, that's true. Oh well.
But anyway.
Thinking of which, I haven't actually switched on my PlayStation for about 3 weeks now. I need to get back on there.
Well, is that the PlayStation 5 you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, any PlayStation. Because I've been, pretty much caning Assassin's Creed. It just takes, it is really a sponge of time. Is that I must have played about 50 or 60 hours on it. Anyway, let's move on to movies, TV, and streaming.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so movies, TV, and streaming, and we have some news. First off, new suits for Spider-Man. As we all know, and you know what? It's 2 years now since the release of the last Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Really? Well, of course, Toby, I mean, that would have been pushed slightly different, wouldn't it? If the real world was still as it was then.
Yeah, but it's 2 years since Spider-Man Long Way from Home, or whatever it was called. A Long Way Home. But evidently, there has been a leak of the new suits that Spider-Man is going to have on the new movie when it comes out. So, as you know, the pre-production for toys and stuff like that takes a while in development, and the toy manufacturers aren't necessarily going to be linking in with the same timescales as the as Disney is by delaying movies and stuff like that, because they don't have the millions of Sony to fall back on that payout of investment. So there's been some new Lego and Funko Pop figures that have come out, which is showing 3 new Spider-Man suits, including a black and gold suit where it might shoot gold web, and the new integrated suit, which is, the way to think of it is like the Iron Spider Plus, and the plus is it can evidently cast spells and enchantments like Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is going to be on. I'm
looking at the black suit as we speak. Actually, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very much taken a lot of cues from the Spider-Man game where there's a black and gold suit as well. But it's referred to as the black and gold suit and not the black suit. And that's because we're probably because the black suit will be the symbiont suit if they decide to go down that storyline, for Venom, because Spider-Man got a total black suit. It was the same in, one of the Tobey Maguire movies as well, where he had the black suit, and it was that really embarrassing bit where he was walking, doing the Bee Gees sort of walk down the high street of Manhattan.
Yes. It'd be pretty cool, though. I mean, I think something you want to feel fresh for something that's an ongoing series or franchise. I think you have to do things like that to keep it a little bit fresh, anyway.
Yeah. So, anyway, I just thought it was an interesting bit of news. Another interesting bit of news is, remember Smallville?
Yes, but not as much as I should do, but I do remember Smallville.
Well, do you remember Alison Mack on Smallville?
No, but I did see the story myself actually earlier in the week, and very much shocked about it.
Yeah, so she's been a bit of a naughty girl, to say the least, because she has been sentenced to 3 years in a federal prison for her role in the NXIVM cult. Mack was facing a sentence of 15 years, and she was one of the highest ranking members of the convicted sex trafficker Keith Ranier's cult-like group, which recruited women as sex slaves. Last year, he was sentenced to 120 years in prison. Under advisory sentencing guidelines, Mack was looking at facing between 14 and 17 years behind bars, but her defence team argued in the court that probation or a sentence from home confinement would be more appropriate, and the prosecutors had agreed that any prison term should be below the guideline range because of her cooperation in bringing down the cult. But wow, so you don't expect someone who's been on like a show that was as big as Smallville.
It's tragic, isn't it? Really,
it is. But this is part of the thing about the the sort of grooming that these leaders of these sort of cults sort of do, and then they get other people to do it as well. But and it is awful. By all accounts, she does have a lot of, regrets over what she's done, and so rightly she should have. But trafficking anybody is completely against the law. But you just don't expect it to be, especially someone famous, sort of thing, or with an amount of fame. But who knows? What the circumstances were. Well, obviously the American lawyers do, but it's still quite a shocking thing. But I think she got off really lightly at only 3 years, even if she did help bring it down.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Other bit of news is that Kevin Feige has released that Marvel's Fantastic Four casting won't be revealed anytime soon. So it looks like there's not going to be any Reed Richards in the first part, at least, of Phase 4 of the MCU. The Fantastic Four reboot was confirmed last year during a Disney investor presentation. Little is known about the project, but what we do know is that John Watts, who was also helmed all three of Tom Holland's solo movies, is set to direct. There's been no plot details have been released or no details on casting. So how do you feel about a new Fantastic Four movie?
I did enjoy the first two original ones, how they were, used to seeing them characters. And unfortunately, we've got we got the guy that was playing in Captain America moving on. So it's very difficult to keep them in that place.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I'm all for it. I do like the Fantastic Four, but it depends where they go with it and if they're going to do another start from the beginning or just go straight into it. I think what I'd like to see is if the not credits, but the start of the film where they put the introduction to who's in it and everything else, they should slide that point in the beginning of the movie So if you didn't know how they got their powers, just do it like that and not waste 45 minutes of the film showing something you've already seen. Same way that Batman, every time a Batman film comes out, we near enough have had to do with that sort of scenario before, and I just get bored of that.
Well, I think the thing is with, I think more probably appropriately is Spider-Man rather than Batman, because Batman sort of like whenever, I suppose that the Batman, that movie with Michael Keaton, did do the sort of like start of Batman.
Yeah.
But the only one that's really addressed how he got to be Batman was Batman Begins.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. We've seen that. We don't want to see it again.
Yeah, we don't need to see Spider-Man bitten and getting. They could do a nice little refresh on it, maybe in the intro. But let's just go straight into it. I think I can't remember. There was a film recently I'd watched where I can't remember what it was, but they did that as well, and I was really pleased that they skipped the origin story but just put it in the intro. Can't remember now. It's bugging me now what film that was I saw, but I can't remember what it was. But it's a thing. I mean, I know these different generations might not know the origin story, but I think most people do.
Well, there is the older Fantastic Four movies there that they can watch to get an idea of where they got the powers from anyway. But it depends upon, again, which one of those three that you watch, because the third Fantastic Four movie, which was coincidentally the only one that had nothing at all to do with Stan Lee while he was alive, was absolutely terrible. Did you see it?
No, I didn't want to.
You made the right choice, because I feel it was the biggest load of rubbish. The characters, the actors who played the characters, I'm sorry, but they were just not the right people to be doing those roles.
Yeah.
I think what worked, even though Chris Evans later went on to be Captain America, was he was the right actor at that time to play Johnny.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Well, he couldn't he? So Captain America's no more really, theoretically, anyway. So.
Yeah, but he's not going to, evidently. But evidently, John Krasinski is going to be. John Krasinski is going to be Reeve Richards or Tip Taz.
Yeah.
So from the Office.
Who's the villain going to be? Do we know? Is it not the same villain as before? Is it?
I don't know. I'm not sure who the villain is. I think it'll probably be Doctor Doom, because he always seems to be.
But again, we've seen that, haven't we? There's plenty of other villains that maybe you could bring out. I mean, they did the Silver Surfer, didn't they, and stuff like that, in the sequel.
Yeah, and I used to like the Silver Surfer as well as a character and a hero in his own right. I used to read the Silver Surfer comics.
Yeah.
Back when I was a kid. But we'll just have to wait and see. I do hope actually it is John Krasinski, because he's a good actor. Yeah.
Well, one of my films could be getting another sequel. Do you remember Happy Death Day? Did you ever see those?
No, I didn't. I thought you were going to say Jaws 38.
No, so producer Jason Blum says he wants to keep the Happy Death Day still going with the third instalment, but because of the previous box office, it makes it difficult. So Jason recently revealed there's still potential for Happy Death Day 3. The first installment was way back in 2017. While it's a slasher film, it can also be classified as a black comedy, and I do agree with that, to be honest. The film is directed by Christopher Landon, who did Freaky, written by Scott Liddell. The story follows if you haven't seen it, the story follows a college student played by Jessica Roth, who realises that she's caught in a loop where she's being murdered and has to try and find out who's killing her. Well worth a watch. I actually do own those two on Blu-ray. But it'd be nice to see if they could. I mean, there's a couple of people I know that love these movies. It'd be great to see a third of that. What else have I heard? Also, from the Jason Blum point of view, I've heard rumours that he wants to remake The Exorcist. I don't know.
No.
It's one of those movies that you don't remake. I mean, saying that he remade Halloween and didn't do a bad job, to be honest, because John Carpenter was involved.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the next Halloween movie in October. But I think the Blumhouse roller coaster of what films they bring out, I do enjoy those movies. So we'll see about The Exorcist. That'd be
must be a weird life for him, having Ron Howard narrate his entire life.
Yeah.
That's an Arrested Development reference for anybody who doesn't know what I'm on about at that point.
What else? What else have I been hearing recently? I think what's the movie? Dwayne Johnson's latest movie is now coming to they're completing the final week of filming for that, which Black Adam.
All right, okay, yeah.
So that's going to be coming out. Well, I'd say I would have thought next year now. Other than that, I can't think a lot more that's happening. I know Megan Fox has got mixed feelings about the possibility of being in a Star Wars movie because she wants to geek out over it, but also
No.
yeah, but there's also something else which I mean I've got a little soft spot for Megan Fox. I think a lot of us have. But one film I did enjoy was Jennifer's Body. Did you ever see that?
No.
And she's been discussing with people whether we make a sequel or even a TV show on that movie. I quite enjoyed that for different reasons.
I can imagine what those reasons might be, but
it's not bad.
a couple
I
of
think
reasons
it's a very much like a dark novel, you know.
Yeah.
But I just like that film. That was quite good.
I just her in Star Wars, no. No.
I mean, worse is Helen Mirren might be co-starring in Shazam 2. How about that one?
No. Do you know what? Helen Mirren would make a fantastic MCU female villain. She really would. But no, not on Shazam.
Yeah, I'm reading it. It's a possibility.
But
Watch this space.
Having said that, though, that last Shazam movie was...
It was enjoyable, wasn't it?
That's not the word I would have used. Pure, I think, is the word I was looking for.
But it was something you could just put your brain in a bucket and just enjoy it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and just make sure that there was plenty of electricity.
I mean, I think you did even say
going into that bucket to keep your brain alive.
If I remember rightly, when you did talk about this some time ago, you did say you enjoyed it. I remember rightly.
Yeah, at first.
So don't knock it. You know,
it's all right for one watch. It's not all right for subsequent watches.
I think I just saw it the once myself.
Yeah, if you watch it a second time, that's once too many. It's all right for a watch, and then that's it. Just move on, sort of thing. So, got to do the cinema releases. Okay,
so 1st of July we have Violet Evergarden the movie, and from the 2nd we got Another Round, Voyagers, Freaky, which we talked about earlier, French Exit, and Night of the Kings. Now, Freaky, I think, is a remake of Freaky Friday.
Is it?
Do you remember that? See, I remember seeing the original with Jodie Foster, and then there was another version with I can't remember who did it, who was in it now, but yeah, I think I saw that as a kid. The original Freaky Friday. That was a 70s Disney movie, wasn't it? So yeah. You actually looking on there now? I don't know.
No, I just noticed.
You want to do Blu-ray DVD releases then, and then?
Yeah, I think probably one for you actually or two for you on the Blu-ray DVD releases is Demons. Sounds like that sort of thing.
I do have Demons 1 in my Arrow collection.
Well, the 4K Blu-ray
both are coming out, yeah.
Box sets coming out on Demons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
There is Doctor Who, the collection Series 10 and Series 18 on Blu-ray. Forget about 11 to 17. Mortal Kombat 21. If for some reason you really want to watch that at all, let alone again.
I watched it yet. The trailer looks pretty cool, I must admit.
Yeah, I think that's the movie you tell you much you want to watch. Everybody I've spoke to about it have said it's terrible. But evidently it's coming out on 4K Blu-ray as well as Blu-ray and DVD. Psycho on 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, sorry, that's already out. I don't know where that comes from.
Maybe it's a re-release or something or other. They've updated the packaging, and that seems to be where they comes back on. So Psycho, Scott Pilgrim vs. World in 4K. Space Jam Titans, Cult of Steel book. Cult of Steel. Titans of Cult, rather, Steelbook. Get it the right way around. 4K Blu-ray, Space Jam, 4K Blu-ray, The Office, the complete series on Blu-ray, and this time with Alan Partridge season 1 and 2.
I'm actually still recording those at the moment.
Yeah.
on Sky. So you didn't want to mention Howard the Duck?
Funnily enough, no, I didn't want to mention Howard the Duck on 4K Blu-ray at all.
There is a lot of people that love that movie.
Well, Howard the Duck, the movie, is part of the MCU because he was in the collector's collection.
He was, yeah. But, yeah, it's a bit of a weird movie, that Howard the Duck, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to watch it again, to be fair.
Right, okay, so cinema charts. So from 9 to 5, we've got Hitman's Bodyguard. Staying at 4, we've got Tom and Jerry the movie. Down from 2 to 3, we've got Zack Snyder's Justice League. In at 2, Batman The Long Halloween Part 1, which I need to see that, actually. And still at number 1 is Godzilla vs. Kong.
Do you do the Blu-ray?
Yeah, so in at 5, Encounters of the Spooky Kind. A re-entry for Deadpool at 4. Still at 3, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And very familiar again, we've got Batman, the Long Halloween Part 1 is in at 2. And still at 1 is Godzilla and Kong.
So basically only 4 and 5 are actually changed.
Not a lot of movement there, is there?
It is a weird movies at the moment.
And, I mean, I say, I'm on a Facebook group for 4K Blu-ray, UHD and all that sort of stuff. There's talk to say, and Haydn actually sort of groaned when I said this, but it looks like we could be getting a Highlander in 4K, which for some of us will be ideal. And also this talk,
as I said, it's because the movie has not aged well.
Anyway, also I don't know if it was fan art or not, but there's a possibility of Halloween 2, 3 and 4 coming out as well. So there may well be a box set, but I've got Halloween, the original movie, in 4K already, but I'd love to see 2 there, and also especially Season of the Witch, which is number 3. So we'll see how that goes if that comes to fruition. And the Star Trek scenario in the background, even though it was taken down from French Amazon, we're still none the wiser of seeing the original movies in 4K. Still waiting for that.
Director's cut in 4K. Come on, people, we want it.
Yeah, and obviously Wrath of Khan. I mean, ironically, they're on the Apple system digitally as 4K.
Yeah.
Some of us want hard copies. Come on, protect our collection. We'll see.
I don't know what the problem is with them doing hard copies. There should be none.
Well, I think, not that I can get my calculation correct, but we're coming up to, I think it's going to be the 40th anniversary of Wrath of Khan coming up. So that would be quite appropriate to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, a lot of movies are kicking at 40 years now, and Cannibal Run was the other week. That had just hit 40. Oh, dear, how old do I feel when some of these movies are now, and The Thing as well. That's hitting 40 last week. Also, Big Trouble in Little China hit 40 this week.
Lots of the classics.
Yeah. It's funny when I used to think of some of the older movies that hit 40 when they were 40. Now they're in their 50s and 60s. And that was something else, actually. I think, was that another movie I said they were trying to remake The Thing as well? But no, don't go there. We've had a prequel. We don't need any more.
Big Trouble in Little China can't have been 40. It was released in 1986.
Sorry, 30. No, sorry, I do apologise.
35.
35 years. Sorry, no, because I was.
I was thinking that didn't sound right.
No, I do apologise. You are correct. No, it's. I think because I've been seeing a lot of films announced at 40.
Yeah, The Thing is closer. That's next year.
Yeah, but yeah.
And actually,
it came out in 1981, didn't it? 82. So yeah, it will be.
The Thing did, yeah. But Escape from New York this coming week will be 40. See? 10th of June.
Yeah, all these movies are just reminding us of how old we are. It's terrible.
I still, the Escape from New York is still one of my all-time favourite movies.
Yeah, right. It's funny because I saw that in Switzerland. We got snowed in. We got the snow chains on the car. Went into Geneva and watched it. Went on release in a French cinema.
I was too young.
That's saying something, isn't it?
I was in primary school when that film was released.
Bless you.
And I didn't see it until about 1984, something like that.
Oh, really?
It was on TV, yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it in black and white in my bedroom on my little black and white portable TV. When it was like, it was one of those movies that was on like 10:30 at night or something like that. I was supposed to be asleep. So I had my duvet over the TV, sitting watching this amazing. I can
imagine the little grills at the back where the heat comes out, and that might have been a bit of a fire hazard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, somewhat, but I didn't care because I was seeing Snake Plissken, the coolest guy I'd ever seen on a movie, other than Han Solo.
It's funny because I tell you what I remember doing that is the only one of the earlier Carpenter movies I saw. So I saw Assault on Precinct 13 on TV for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was about 78 roughly, and I remember watching that, and then like in Rocky, I was out the window at 1 a.m. with my mate who was 3 doors up on the hill, him out of his window, us discussing Assault on Precinct 13, saying what a wicked movie it was. the days before mobile phones and everything else, but yeah.
Yeah, nowadays you just text each other.
Exactly, but yeah, we were actually talking out the window with the head out the window at 1 a.m.
Yeah, with all the neighbours going, shut up and get to bed.
Actually, we got away with it. No one complained, but I'm surprised my parents didn't say something like that, because their bedroom was right next to mine. But
they'd probably be watching a movie as well and listening to what your review was.
But it is, to me, that is one of the all-time greats as well. Assault on Precinct 13 should be seen by everybody.
Yeah, I think we should do a revisit of our favourite movies.
What, from the Carpenter ones, or just as in general?
Just general.
No, we could do.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah. So and as I said, what was it? So yeah, so I heard The Thing was going to be remade. Obviously, there's rumours. I don't know about Snake Plissken coming back in a remake as well with Escape to New York.
It kind of like makes sense if, like, you know, there was Cobra Pliskin or something or other like that as his son. Do you know what I mean?
But unless
a bit cliched, like.
But what if you hadn't actually used? What if you could actually get Kurt Russell, put that eye patch back on for a third movie?
Oh God, yeah.
I prefer that. I mean, I know I don't really own the sequel, and I have seen it since, and it's still not the best. Even though the score's pretty good, because I own the score, but it's a real shame.
Mm.
So I quite enjoy watching movies in other countries, because something like this is no disrespect to the French, because the subtitles on there, don't they?
Yeah.
So sometimes it doesn't. The joke can't actually get there sometimes because of how they describe it on the screen.
Mm.
The same way I went to see the Blues Brothers in France as well, and it was only me and my brother laughing at one soiled. In the cinema, the French were just looking at us thinking, what are they on about?
Yeah, it's. I think humour sometimes doesn't travel well across lingual boundaries.
No, it doesn't. But yeah.
Anyway, so what you been watching, Steve?
No, so obviously the Euros are still on. England are now in the semi-final, so Haydn might watch the Denmark game on Wednesday night with any luck.
Nope.
So other than that, I've just noticed something you've been watching, which I've been tempted to watch it myself, but you can tell me all about that and tell me what you thought of it. So the film I watched was Angelina Jolie's Those Who Wish to Be Dead. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
So what we have here is a teenager murder witness found himself pursued by two twin assassins in Montana wilderness, with a survival expert tasked with protecting him, with a forest fire threatening to consume them all. It's not the greatest movie ever seen. It's an action flick. Again, you can just sit there and put your brain in the bucket and just enjoy it. If you're a fan of Angelina Jolie, you get a kick out of that.
Mm.
Also, in the cast, one of the two assassins is Nicholas Hoult, who, if you remember back in the day, was in About a Boy as a kid, and also been in the X-Men movies as well.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he was the Beast.
Yeah, and one of the policemen in it is John Bethnal, who I didn't like his character in The Walking Dead, but he was in the first couple of seasons of that, if you remember rightly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not a bad film. You know, a lot of fire involved in that, probably all CGI'd, not like the days of Terra Inferno where they actually had fire on the set and a load of people with fire extinguishers. But yeah, it's a typical movie. But the only thing I didn't like about it was the ending. They didn't give away some of the reasons to the whys and whats, and I felt that was a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
But other than that, it wasn't a bad film, you know. But it's worth a watch.
Mm.
I've seen Angelina Jolie run around through the forest like something out of Tomb Raider. So
yeah, she used to be a very stunning woman, but I think obviously I know that she's gone through an awful lot with her double mastectomy and stuff like that, but I think she's just lost it a little bit now. But
she's getting. I'm not saying she's getting old, but yeah, the wrinkles are maybe starting to show now.
I think she's gone quite hard looking. Rather, you know, I don't think she's.
I mean, her character in this is rather with her because her Hannah, which is her character, she was sort of, she had an incident with another forest fire. Because what she does is she sits there in a tower, keeping an eye on the forest from her point of view, in one part of that Montana area. And she, in the past, had been through a tragic time where there were some kids that died in the forest fire, which she was obviously trying to help put out. So we've seen those sort of storylines before. But yeah, not a bad film. Something different.
I'll keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah. Anything else? No. TV-wise, still waiting for when Dexter's going to be given an air date.
Okay.
And I've just been seeing news that John Lithgow is going to reprise his character from Dexter as well, which would be pretty cool. He was a bit of a psycho in that as well. I've
never watched Dexter.
Really?
Really?
Honestly, there's something for you to cane, because you're good at liking to go on demand. I think 7 or 8 seasons. And being a blood splatter analyst, actually committing the crimes, while also being harassed by another serial killer who's chopping up body parts in season 1 and putting them on display. It's a good, really good show.
Right.
I'd thoroughly recommend it. There's a few people I know that have seen Dexter, and it's because he's trying to live a normal life, while at the same time he's finding people that have done wrong and strapping them on a table with cling film and getting out his knife and starts cutting them up, and then he gets a plate and puts a bit of their blood, and that's his trophy. He puts it away in his little box he's got in the air conditioning unit in his house. Sorry, honestly, I'd like, if I could actually have the time, I'd be nice to do a rewatch on that.
Yeah, getting the time's one of those things, isn't it? Because at the moment I've got a real desire to go back through the entire 4 seasons of the second Battlestar Galactica series.
Do you know I never finished it?
You should do.
Now, I know I don't know the full outline of some of the spoilers, we'd say. I know a little bit, but I'm not going to say what it is. I think the only thing I don't know, because I do own the Blu-ray tinned set of the whole series.
Okay.
But there was a couple of other there was another side show which doesn't really...
Blood and Chrome, which was about a younger Amadama. Yeah.
Yeah,
was it the plan?
Was it Caprica or something it was called?
Caprica.
Caprica, that was it.
Yeah.
But I never finished watching the series. I need to probably dig the Blu-ray box set out, actually, and go back and start going through them.
I would, because it is a really, really good show. It's one of my favourite TV sci-fi shows ever. I used to love Battlestar Galactica. I grew up, when I watched Battlestar Galactica, I was the same age as Boxy on it.
God. What I'll do when we finish is I'll show you my box that I've got. It's a big tin with the Cylon on the front cover, and then there's really slots with all the Blu-rays in. Yeah,
I've got the no, I don't have the box set on that. I got each season individually. But I love the show.
I'll have to look. I'll look to let you know, because we did start watching it together. So, and it's funny, it's been a long time since I watched them, and even now thinking about it, because of Big Bang Theory, wasn't it?
Yeah.
One of the guys had a bit of a soft spot for one of the main characters in it. Do you remember seeing that?
What, Tracy Heffler?
I can't think which. The one, I think, was she the one that was playing the
number 6?
No, not her. It was actually one of the main characters from the original series that was obviously a guy.
Oh, Boomer.
Yeah, I think.
Starbuck. One of the
might have been Starbuck, actually.
So let's see who were it was. So Tracy Helfer was number 6, or the Angel. I think it was Grace Park who played Boomer, and it was Katie Sackhoff who played Starbuck.
Right. So the blonde one. Unless you're telling me they're both blonde now, aren't you?
No, Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
Tracy Heffler.
She was in the bath. She was in the bath with Howard, having his weird dreams while he was in there. She said, "You should stop doing this," And he was,
no, that she was a Cylon then.
No, it wasn't. Let me bring up. Actually, I've got that freaky film on my thing in a minute. I need to have a look at that in a minute. Let's have a look. I'll tell you who she was. It did make me laugh.
It would have been one of those 3 that I've just put in the chat now.
No, I don't want to do that.
Just look in the chat, Steve. I've put the 3 pictures in there. See which one it was.
So I'm just having a look now. It was Sakov.
Yeah. Well, she's done quite a few other sci-fi series as well.
Yeah, because she was in. Cause actually, I've seen Halloween Resurrections because she was in that, and she was in Oculus, but I think she played a kid then.
Yeah.
That was quite a while ago.
And you know who Adama was, don't you? Edward James Olmos.
Yes, from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But I need to go back. Obviously, there was someone else in that show because me and Mr. were a big fan of Hawaii Five-0, the reboot.
Mm.
And the girl that was in that, Grace Parks.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Hawaii Five-0. She's left the show now, but she was good in that. Very fit, I must say. I'm gonna say something like that.
Yeah, she was. She played Boomer, who was one of the Cylons. That's not a spoiler because you find that out pretty much immediately if you watch the mini-series.
I've got, as I say, I've got so far with it. But actually, just going back, we were talking about Freaky that's just come out, and we were saying about that. I need to watch that now. I just didn't realise. Even though I think it looks like it's a remake, but yeah, I say Jason Blum for Blumhouse has done that one. And Vince Vaughn's in it as well.
All right, okay.
I just stop that video going. So they've made this version a comedy horror, obviously from Blumhouse. Of course it is. I'd never thought of that, to be honest.
All right, okay. Actually, did you hear about Michael Hogan, just going back to Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
Who played the XO, was it Saul Ty? What happened to him?
No.
This is in real life. He was at a fan convention and evidently fell down some stairs and had to be rushed to hospital. And he's been on life support for a long time. And he's only just to say learning how to walk again and take, full meals or solid meals. Yeah, he was. I mean, he's an older guy. He's 72 years old.
Yeah.
But he fell off the stage or down some stairs when he was at a convention. Because I'm in a Battlestar Galactica group, so they keep doing updates on how he gets on, on Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, shall I have a chat about what I was been watching?
Yes.
So I saw the new Amazon Prime movie starring Chris Pratt called The Tomorrow War.
I did see that. I was looking the other day and I noticed on there, so I thought, that might be worth a watch. Yeah,
well, I mean, I like Chris Pratt as an actor anyway, but when I saw the clips of it, it really intrigued me. And actually, I waited until midnight on the day it was released to watch it. Well, when I say midnight, I mean 1, because everything's pushed back an hour because of British summertime. So, this is the same thing that happens with achievements as well. This time of the year, your achievements for the day of work still on GMT time.
Yeah.
So you've actually got an extra hour in the month to get some more final achievements in if you're hoarding them like I do. Anyway, going back to the Tomorrow War. So the basic premise is a group of time travelers arrive from the year 2051 to deliver an urgent message. 30 years in the future, mankind is losing a global war against a deadly alien species, and the only hope for survival is for soldiers and civilians from the present day to be transported to the future and join the fight. Among those recruited is a high school teacher and family man who happen to be, ex-Marines and all of that, of being Dan Forrester, who's played by Chris Pratt. So that's the basic story. This is a very much what you expect of a movie. It's got time travel in, it's got monsters in, and it's got, it's a wrapped up story, basically, by the end of it. There's plenty of action in the movie. There's not a lot that will shock you. It's quite predictable. Chris Pratt plays a much more serious type of character than Star-Lord. Because Star-Lord's always sort of like messing about, stuff like that.
Because he's now so well known in that, he's sort of got that. It's now
That's his persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you come out of that watching this film thinking it wasn't him?
Fine.
Yeah.
I think, you know,
I
I
mean,
didn't
because
see
he's
a
done. I
problem.
mean, he did a Jurassic Park movie as well. Did he do two of them? I'm not
Yeah,
too
he did.
sure now.
Yeah, he's on the third one as well, I think. That's
Yeah, at the moment.
being filmed.
So he's being very versatile.
Yeah.
As actors go.
Yeah, well, I would say Jurassic Park's sort of like in between this character and Star-Lord.
Mm.
So if you know how much of a shift there is for him to get to the beginning character in Jurassic Park, imagine that on again, and that's sort of like where his character is now. So, you know, he's a father, he's got a young child, blah blah blah. And you know he's everybody is enlisted to go into the future, so people get messages and say you've been enlisted for a 30-day tour of duty in the year 2051. And not everybody can go into the future, and the reason being is for paradox purposes, because anybody who exists in 2051 cannot go to 2051, and likewise backwards as well.
Just looking through the cast list.
J.K. Simmons is in it as well, and he's brilliant.
He played, if anyone's not realised,
J.J. Jameson.
He played the editor in
J. Jonah Jameson on Spider-Man.
The actress that played Nora, Marilyn, which is I can never say her surname. She was in the 24 series. You know Jack Bauer. She was in that.
Right. Okay.
And I presume Yvonne Chukowski as Colonel Maria Foster was his other half. She was in Dexter.
Yeah, she was also in. I forgot what it was called. There's a TV series, a comedy, Chuck.
Yeah, so she's been around the block a bit. So yeah, so interesting cast there.
Yeah, but
who's Sam Richardson? He looks familiar. What's he been in?
I can't remember, but
he was in Where the Millers. He was in that. So it might be in that.
Right, okay. So J.K. Simmons, he plays Chris Pratt's father, and he's obviously a estranged father, and all of that. But it doesn't end when you think it's going to. Yeah. When you think that there's going to be a resolution, there's a bit more on after that.
I should have to put Amazon Prime on then to watch that, because I did notice it the other day when I was redoing my TV problems with the Wi-Fi, which I spoke about last week.
Yeah.
With the apps. So, yeah, interesting. It's an Amazon original movie.
Yeah. So, obviously, a movie that they really needed financing for, but couldn't get it out at the cinema.
No.
But I enjoyed the movie. I mean, you know, it's not Shakespeare in the Park. It's exactly what you expect it to be. It's an action movie. It's quite fast paced. It's quite sentimental in one or two bits.
Yeah.
It's what you expect of this sort of movie.
The film, actually, my missus she says, because she watches a lot on Netflix, obviously that's what she's probably doing now, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a film she saw, I have to look at my phone, and she said, oh, this might be good for you. So if I can actually go onto my Netflix account. This one is all I remember about it, I didn't even know what the title was, but it was a story where some people are in space and they've got so much oxygen left.
Right.
I think it's one of the latest movies. If I can find let's have a look, see if I can see where it was, and if I recognise the title. If not, I'll let you know next week.
I have a feeling that this might be one that I've already spoke about a couple of weeks ago. I think because they're on the way to Mars, aren't they?
I don't know where they're on the way to, but something went wrong.
Yeah, and someone is found to be on the ship that shouldn't have been there. They were found.
Is it called Stowaway? Or am I wrong? Is that a guess?
It's something
like that.
I can't remember what it was called. It was. I think I talked about it about 6 or 7 weeks ago. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was called for the life of me, and I don't. It was an okay movie. I remember that.
Yeah. I tell you what is coming back on Netflix, and I don't think is it going to show me the episodes for season 2. Let's have a look. I don't think it is, but do you remember that series, very short series called The Movies That Made Us?
Oh yes.
There's a season 2 coming out on 23rd of July.
All right. Okay.
I mean, I think that the first ones were Dirty Dancing, Home Alone, Ghostbusters, and Die Hard. If you remember, if you watched them all, I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So I can't remember what I did see a trailer for it, but it doesn't show up on Netflix at the minute where I'm looking at. But yeah, I do like those sort of things. They're quite cool. Other than that,
Do you know what? You've done my head in now because I can't remember what the name of that movie is.
so in the movies that made us, I think if one of them is going to be Back to the Future.
Well, that always needs to be in there because that really was. It was called
Jurassic-
Stowaway.
There you go. I was right then. That was a
Yeah.
guess and a half. Also, Forrest Gump is going to be one of them, and
movie.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Trying to work to see the fourth because I'm just watching the trailer for it as they're talking their way through it. Forrest Gump, Back to the Future. It's still going on. I'm going to speed this up. Let me go. Quite like that. It must be Jurassic Park. It doesn't say. Back to the Future, Jurassic Park. Didn't tell what the fourth one is, but there must be four.
Well, for the sake of the listeners, let's just say and another movie.
And another movie, but yeah, that'd be quite. I do like those, and yeah, I've watched Back to the Future in an age, so it's well worth to
Yeah, fair enough.
do that.
Okay. I've also been watching Loki as well. Surprise, surprise. Really enjoying the show. There was actually a mid-credit sequence this time.
And
So
mid-credit.
A mid-credit, end credit. So if you've watched it, then make sure you've watched after all of the animated bits of the credits before they just start normally filming going straight up, because there is a mid-credit sequence, which I liked the mid-credit sequence, but something happens right at the end of the episode, and I think that there would have been better just pushing the mid-credit sequence on till the next week, just to build the suspense and excitement of it more.
Yeah.
That's my personal view, but I'm not the director, am I?
How many episodes are there for that?
There's 2 more left, so we're on episode 4 now. Episode 5's released on Wednesday, and then a week later for episode 6, and then we've got to wait till August, and then it's the What If animated series.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were just talking about Marvel and things and that, and he said, "You know what?" I said, "I've not even seen the Avenger movies yet." What planet have you been on? He says,
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and go through them. So I don't know how far you need to go back, but yeah, okay. He's not seen a load of them. I'm thinking, I'll keep you and the missus busy.
Yeah, somewhat. Or him busy. If
I said, look at the box set on Amazon. That'll give you a bit of an idea of how many flicks there are.
Yeah, there's an awful lot.
Yeah. I said that because I said about the new one coming out, this month.
Well, I mean, my son and I, we have a movie night once a week. Although we didn't have because of the football, because he wanted to watch it with his mother.
What, the football?
Yeah.
Good boy. That's nice to see.
I think he just wanted to keep his mum company for a change because his mum normally goes off and does stuff.
Yeah.
But what we're thinking of doing is restarting Marvel right from the beginning. So that's our sort of plan. We were thinking, should we do The Matrix? But I think we'll probably do Marvel.
Yeah, I haven't bought that on 4K yet. I didn't want to buy the box set because I'm only keen on the first one.
But you've got to have the box set. You can also buy the first one separate anyway.
You can, I know that. Yeah, I would. I'll get to that at some point.
Fair enough.
Put it on my list for Christmas or something from someone or something,
I mean, I did buy the first one, separate, and then about a week after I'd got it, they released the box set, and I thought, so I got rid of my 4K version of the first one.
Yeah.
So, anyway, shall we move on to our listener questions?
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so Mark is still not here with us because he's busy with work. I think he's quite tired with having gone back to work after really wanting, not to be furloughed. I think he's now thinking I could do with a couple of weeks furloughing just to get a bit of a rest. But we do miss you, Mark, so hope you're doing okay. But he sent in his questions, and he asks, will Nintendo ever release a true competitor to the Series X and PlayStation 5, and how much would you like to see their creativity on a console with the Series X power. That's especially for you there, Steve.
Yeah, I was going to say this is actually for you more than me.
I can see him wringing his hands, going at the time of writing this one. To be fair,
I don't know. Have you got any thoughts on it?
Well, the rumoured Switch 2, which is going to be 4K. So if that's going to be 4K, technically speaking, I think that you would.
Yeah, but the size of the screen, is it going to make any difference to that sort of size screen?
Well, it is when you plug it into a telly.
I don't think a lot of people. I wonder. It'd be nice if you could do a poll. People that have Switch, see how much you do plug it into the telly. And I bet you it will be pretty low.
Yeah. Well, I more or less exclusively use my Switch on the TV.
So you don't use it as a handheld gaming component?
No, not interested. I find the Joy-Con things to be really uncomfortable to play. So I've got the Pro controller and I use that. That's my preferred way of playing any Switch game at all, if possible. I mean, if somebody has the Switch Lite, there is no option for them to do it on the TV. And you've got a light Switch, so there is no option for you to do it on a TV. But personally, I don't think that Nintendo see themselves in the same space as Microsoft and PlayStation. I don't see them as competing.
No, because it's the handheld market. It goes in hand. Well, tongue in cheek, goes in hand with it, doesn't it? Really.
I don't think it's even the fact that it's handheld. I think it's they're just releasing a product that is.
But don't you see, every time you see an advert for Nintendo, it's always showing you someone playing it in the park, on the side of a window, looking down at the road or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's always being given that persona of a handheld device, but not one you'd plug into the TV. But
I would have said from the adverts I've seen, it shows the versatility of.
Oh, it does. I think it does show that. Yeah, but that's very brief. That is very brief, though. But the more than not, Nintendo has always been the handheld device. Going back to the first version that they had out in the Game Boy.
Yeah, but I think that what they want you to, go for a device that's versatile like that handheld and whatever. Whereas with the others, they're not so bothered about that. I think Microsoft's trying to push in on some of that action with the cloud services, but again, that's not competing directly in the same space. And I think that the franchises that Nintendo have, people go for Nintendo for those franchises, which...
I mean, I know we discussed this last week, but some of these franchises are getting long in the tooth now, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, how many versions of Smash Brothers do you want?
And that's not me moaning about Nintendo. I just feel they could do with bringing out some more different IPs.
But you could say that about Microsoft with how many versions of Forza do you want? How many versions of God of War do you want?
Some of those are yearly type of games. But like we talk about Sonic, for example, that is probably now wearing a bit thin, to be honest.
But that's
the same. I know. And then like Mario, for example, they probably stretched it as far as it can go. I know it's their what's the right word to use? It's their mascot, really, isn't it, Mario?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think people go for those games goes for that console because of those games.
Well, you are now getting more. You're getting the games from other consoles going on now, haven't you? So
yeah, I mean, I think what Nintendo have done is they've obviously really seized on the fact that nobody's operating properly in the mobile market, and have seized that. But I also think what they've done is gone for that family gaming sort of point of view, because if you think about the Wii and all of that with, the controllers on that and the Switch now, they're very much sort of like that moving sort of, technology, which the other consoles don't do in the same way, unless you're talking about PSVR. I think that they've fitted themselves into that family gaming sort of concept, whereas I think that family gaming is not the focus for Xbox and PlayStation. What their focus is either Game Pass and backward compatibility, or these are our exclusives that no one will ever play apart from on PC in about 6 months' time.
Yeah.
So
it's difficult, isn't it? But people will still buy them regardless anyway, and something else will come out. People will upgrade to the next best thing.
Yeah, I mean,
whether it's a phone or a gaming device or whatever, or a TV.
Yeah,
we love we love an upgrade. That's in our instinct, I think.
Yeah, and I think we'll see, Mario again on Xbox sort of powered things. I think probably like the future Mario Sunshine will, be one day there'll be something on, like something with the equivalent of Xbox power, whether or not that's a Switch 2 or whatever they're going to call it, or the generation after.
Yeah.
Good luck
to them on that. It's,
yeah. I just don't think that they feel they're in competition with the others.
Okay, so question 2 we have here. Do you prefer an incremental upgrade in a console lifetime like a Pro version? Or is it better to move on to a completely new generation? So we went from the PlayStation to the PlayStation Pro to the PS5. Would you like to see a Pro version of the PS5, or would you like to see the PS6 come there, as an example? I would be happy for that, personally. I don't think we need... with these now consoles we've got, I don't think we need that jump.
Yeah, but you might not have said that at the beginning of the last generation.
Well, I'd like to see this console given its full potential. I know it's going to take a while to get that far, but it's going to take a while to get the best out of each console. And normally that's the point of where they switch, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, I've said this from, longer than this show's existed. I've said this on other shows as well. I think that the Xbox One and the PS4 were not really to the power that they should have been for the start of the last generation. I think that the last generation properly started on the Pro and the X, because to me the PS4 and the One were, yes, there were upgrades. You're not going to argue that after 7 years. I don't think that there were the level of upgrades that there should have been.
Yeah. Just
personal view. I've said it a lot for a long time, but I think that for me, the Pro and the X were the ones that were the proper last gen consoles. And we should have had those on day one, even if that did mean delaying the launch of the last gen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility, and we know that the PlayStation may have another Pro version.
Yeah.
It's been talked about.
I think that probably Sony should be more concentrated on actually just getting consoles out to people who want them.
I mean, but that's down to the moment, still down to getting the parts to make these consoles. I don't know. It's still unfortunately, it's still a thing about getting hold of these parts, to build them. But we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Neil McBain has said, with Ghost of Tsushima getting the PS5 upgrade, what PS4 game would you like to see get a PS5 upgrade?
Well, for you than me, isn't it, this one?
Well, you've got a PS5 as well.
No, I haven't. I've got a PS4.
Oh, PS4 rather, sorry. If you were to buy a PS5, what would you like to see get an upgrade?
Oh, sorry, yeah. I don't know really. I mean, Final Fantasy's already had that. It looks pretty good on the Pro, let alone on the 5.
Yeah.
Persona 5, we've had a second of those come out with a little tweak, but I don't know really. I mean, I don't really think what would come out. Even if I did have a PS5, what would I like to see come up with a? Don't know.
I'm going to suggest a couple.
Go on.
How about Mass Effect Andromeda PS5 upgrade?
Are we just talking more about something that's on the PlayStation, not on the Xbox, though?
Well, I don't think it really. I know you said PlayStation.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it matters what format particularly, but that is on that format anyway. So, how about The Order?
God, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, but it'd be quite nice to see that being brought up to date, because it wasn't a bad game. It took me a long time to complete it for such a short campaign.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I think it was because I really liked the game, but I couldn't quite get into it in the way that I wanted to. And how about seeing what the Red Dead Redemption would be like, Part 2, as an upgrade? That would be good.
Was there wasn't actually any loading screens in the game, was there?
Not that I remember.
I mean, the horse might run a bit faster. But I think, I'm trying to think what else would actually. I mean, some of the stuff I like has already had a little bit of a tweak already from a little while ago.
Yeah.
Like your Bioshocks, Mass Effect obviously already had something of some kind. Obviously, the new Fable comes out. That'll be interesting to see how that will look in comparison to what we played before.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Isn't that getting an upgrade at all? Any kind?
I don't know. I haven't put that in on my PlayStation since I completed it. But I am playing it on the PC.
Which is an upgrade anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But it would be nice. Be nice on the PC. Okay.
Okay. Should we move on to Jason then?
Yeah, go on then.
Right. So he says here, it's a bit of a long one. This one says, do you think DVD/Blu-ray disc menus and special features are lacking as if of late? I've been watching some of the older DVDs lately, Final Destination 3, and it's not only had interactive menus but lots of special features. It also had to choose on its own adventure style, use its own adventure style feature. Let you decide some of the characters' fate during the movie, thus changing the scenes in the movie. Really made me more enjoyable to watch. Got me thinking about how cheap and shoddy some other DVD Blu-rays are. Also, he recalls when they had a lot of special features, animated menus, loads of cool gimmicks, tie into the soundtracks, comics, even games. If you put Star Wars in an original Xbox, you've got to play the demo for Battlefront. He says, what's happened to that?
I think he's got a point. I think Blu-rays are the 4K Blu-rays and the normal Blu-rays nowadays probably have a little bit less thought put into them.
I mean, some of the 4K ones I've got of late give you two discs. They give you a Blu-ray disc and then the 4K disc, but a lot of the special features will be on the Blu-ray disc.
Yeah.
Anyway, and
some of that's a capacity thing, though.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
You can't stick it all on the 4K Blu-ray disc because you got the movie on there. That's all you need.
Yeah, well, you've only got like 100 gigs storage on a 4K Blu-ray anyway.
There are some films I have which are Blu-rays, but they just bring their interactive screen is just an image on the screen with a few highlighted text to divert to the menus.
Yeah.
Some of the Star Wars ones are pretty nice, but I do miss the idea of Easter eggs.
Yeah, thinking about the Austin Powers 2 DVD, DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
On that one, if you left the bonus features section of the menus playing, then you would get Dr. Evil's shit coming up, and you had to press a button, and then you got access to some hidden features. Yeah,
I can't remember which way it was. I remember, I think it was the fourth Star Wars movie that came out, which was the first Star Wars movie. If you talk about
the Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace. There was a way of clicking in the menus to get the deleted scenes up.
Yeah.
One of the favourites of mine is the T2 DVD, where when you would highlight the correct time and date for when the incident happened for the computers all going wrong and then Judgment Day, it would give you the alternative ending or a bit of something like that, which is really cool. So obviously they have those branches to the way the Blu-ray, the DVD works. I still got that DVD now. I wouldn't get rid of it.
I don't think they put as much thought into the discs now, unless it's like an Arrow one or something like that.
Well, I think like one, for example, I won't even get it down because it's tightly squeezed between a lot, is my Dawn of the Dead box set. That has 5 or 6 discs in it, which includes the soundtrack, the library music, and a shed load of features. That's how you should do some sort of, well, it's like a special edition, I suppose. You can buy like a 2-disc version. Yeah. But that's what I like to see in some of the boxes I got. Some of the Arrow versions, the special editions come in, 2 or 3 discs. Or, for example, one of the Dario Argento ones I got gives you both different versions of the film from America to Europe. Yeah. And going back to Dawn of the Dead, there's 4 different versions of the film in there, in that box set.
And there's like the collector's version of Blade Runner as well, isn't there? No, it wasn't Arrow, but that had all 5 versions of the movie.
And I did like the interactive menus. in some ones back in the day as well. They were pretty cool. But just seeing such stagnant stills with just navigation via the text on the screen's a bit. Maybe it's just because some of those they're producing them and they're coming out at $7.99 as a Blu-ray. That's why they're.
Yeah, I mean Paramount seem to be one of the ones that are the worst for that sort of stuff.
I don't know. My Star Trek Blu-ray box set is pretty cool. Well, the 2 box sets I've got because they're split between Next Generation and the original cast. And with those, you've got interactive menus that you can have playing during the film as well, which can bring up special features while you're watching the film. Some of the ones I've got the Studio Canal ones for the John Carpenter movies and also Apocalypse Now. They're all very clever, very good. But then again, there's some of those are sort of stagnant still with the screen and the images.
Yeah, they just don't put the effort into the.
And I don't know if I say because of the size of the film itself, where compared to DVD back in the day, there was enough room to actually put those interactive menus in the first place.
Well, you used to get all of the different dialogue, the several different commentaries from different people associated with the movie, the trailer. To me, director's commentary, trailer and a making of should be the minimum standard for bonus features on every single Blu-ray and DVD. As a minimum.
Yeah, and then when you get in these older movies like the Jaws 4K, you had like retrospective documentaries, also the remastered documentary is still on there as well. So I like to see your money's worth on special features.
Yeah, I do.
There's times when I haven't got the time to watch a film, but you know what, I can sit there and get out the special features on a favourite film of mine and sit and watch a 20 or 30 minute documentary. Saying that, the Blade Runner one, End of Days, that's a long one, but well worth a watch.
Yeah.
It's all down to disc size. It's down to how they can bring the product out with the price tags as well. But always look out for your favourite ones for these special editions where you've got a lot of discs in it. And I think there's some great ones out there. I'm just looking up there. I think really all the Arrow ones are the other ones other than Dawn of the Dead, which is like a huge amount of discs in it.
Yeah. Like I said, though, I've noticed Paramount seems to be the worst at doing bonus features. Because they don't do good bonus features on the Star Trek movies or the series.
They do on the box set.
Well, I've got the box set. I didn't think that the bonus features were that good. Some
of those have got some documentaries for each film. And also there was an extra disc which has got the where they get all the captains together. And it's not a documentary, more of a they all have a chat and discuss. And
I think the thing is, though, because Star Trek is so big, for what they give is not good. Because a lot of it is stuff that we've seen before in promotions and stuff like that as well.
Depends if they can do a new retrospective documentary, depending on who's around, kicking around and stuff like that as well. There's a few films in the background I'm waiting for that needs some good special features, but Arrow do make an effort, and they actually make new documentaries to go on those Blu-rays. Saying that the June one's something's not going to be on that. Did you see the announcement for that?
No.
I can't dig it on now, but there's one documentary they was hoping to put on it, but they can't get it on there due to, how do I put it, out of their control. So, and I think I'll tell you one that's well worth a watch if anyone wants to pick it up. If you pick up the thing on the John Carpenter, we talked about earlier, the documentary on that called Who Goes There is very much worth a watch on its own. Yeah. Really well put together documentary.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it for me when you get stuff like that.
Yeah. And there's good stuff on the Back to the Future Blu-rays as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go down that route yet, but I've still got the original
DVDs.
The Blu-rays.
Blu-ray
box set. So, but yeah, okay, some make an effort, some don't. There's a lot of reasons for whys and what's on those. But I do like the idea of the Final Destination 3. I'm going to dig out now and have a look, but I don't think it is on there. But I've got the Blu-ray box set of those. One of my favourite little franchises they are, the Final Destination movies. If I remember rightly, number 3 was the roller coaster. You can put me wrong on that, Jace, if not. But yeah, I love those movies. They're class.
I haven't watched those. Well, I watched the first one. I think that was it for my.
You watched them all. There's about 5 of them. Memory serves. on that one.
Okay.
And the last one's called The Final Destination, which is very clever if you watch it. It's very well put together because they are the way that works is they are like a storyline that moves on. So yeah. Okay. You want to do Scott Kidd?
Yeah. Scott Kidd's got a very philosophical question. Is aliens exist, yes or no, and why?
What's the time?
Right, well, I could just, without Steve even having an opinion, I could wax lyrical on this one for about 3 hours.
I was going to say that I'm going to have some dinner in a minute. There's a lot of whys and for this, and maybe not. Firstly, why was all the sightings always in America and never hardly in the UK?
Well, we do have our own version of like Area 51 and that for sightings.
Yeah.
There are them in England. It's just you get to hear all of the American ones.
Probably, but
yeah,
I think just because we're the only planet, I seem to think that there's more out there.
Well, have you heard of the Drake equation?
I might have done. We might have just talked about this before, probably. We haven't got time to dive too deep.
I won't go too deep, but I'll explain what it is. So the Drake equation is what scientists have used to estimate how many alien species there are that are at a level of communication that will mean that they would be able to have the technology to communicate with us right now. And basically, it goes along the rate of star formation multiplied by the rate of planets that have stars that have planets, and how many of those are capable of holding life, of those that develop life, and of those that develop intelligent life, and then how many of them would be in that sort of like segment of time where they might be able to use radio waves to communicate with us. And basically, the estimates, depending upon what numbers you come in at, go to somewhere between 1,000 and 100 million different civilizations the estimate might be in existence. One of the more probably narrower estimations I saw was estimating that there would be about 37 technologically advanced enough cultures in the Milky Way to communicate with us right now. However,
still waiting for that satellite to come bouncing back, and people have actually said, you know what?
Well, there is the other factor that you've got to consider, and that is the universal speed limit, which is the speed of light. So radio waves travel at the speed of light effectively. So when you consider that, the closest planet to us is Proxima Centauri, which is about 4 light years away, that means it takes 4 years for light to travel to there. So to send a message to there and get it back, that means it's 8 years it would take for that message to go round trip. And when you consider we've been able to broadcast stuff for about 130 years, and the galaxy, it would take light 100,000 years to travel across the galaxy, and then you've got to consider 120-year bubble in that. If everything's spaced out quite evenly, we might never hear from any of those civilizations.
So that's a no then?
No, it's not a no. It's saying we might never know, but personally I think that there is, and the reason is because if life has evolved here, then it has done out there among the stars, to quote Battlestar Galactica.
But I don't think. See, I like the idea that there is. Just forgetting how movies take on aliens these days is maybe the wrong way to think about it. There's a lot of people that say that they've been abducted, probed, even.
You've got to consider that there are more stars in the Milky Way alone than there are grains of sand on every beach in the world.
So if you had tried to put a probability on this, you know what I mean?
Even if 1% of those had intelligent life, that would still be more than one planet.
Yeah,
a lot more. Even if it was 100th of a percent or 1,000th of a percent, it would still be a lot more. So we are, as far as we know, a natural evolution of being within the Goldilocks zone of our star, on in terms of being on a planet that's, in that Goldilocks thing of not being too hot, not being too cold. We've got liquid water. All the conditions are right for us. There must be another planet that is similar where life has evolved. We might have already have had that in our galaxy or in our solar system with Venus, which then had greenhouse gases that went, haywire, and now it's 400 or 800 degrees on the surface, on Venus, and it's got massive carbon, and you would be crushed by the weight of the equivalent of air, which is actually carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Or you look at Mars, where that planet has died because the core of the planet has cooled, the magnetic field's gone, and it's blown away most of the atmosphere. So it's like 1% of the atmosphere of the Earth. But you go back 100 million years ago, Mars is supposed to have had oceans and very similar conditions to Earth, and so is Venus. So that's 3 planets in our solar system that's happened on. So why it's not to say that life hasn't evolved on either of them? Some scientists reckon that we actually came from either Mars or Venus anyway. And I don't mean
So going back to the original question, because we don't want people falling asleep in this podcast. Do you think aliens exist?
Yes. Do I think that they're here? Probably not.
No.
Do I think we'll ever know?
Not in our lifetime. Maybe not in our lifetime.
Well, I mean, if we did, it would change everything. It would change everything overnight.
Oh, imagine, one of those TV shows like V.
I actually think if that ever happened, that would be the most frightening thing, because you look at human, we can't say that alien life would be the same, but you look at whenever a more technologically advanced race has moved into an area where there's a less technologically advanced race, that less technologically advanced race has ended up most of the time being either subsumed into the higher advanced race or become slaves. So if aliens turned up, we might be in a lot of trouble.
Especially if they're more advanced than us, eh?
And I'll tell you something, having Jeff Goldblum going up there and plugging in a virus ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
So,
it's a crazy thing about this, isn't it?
it's the unfathomable size of the universe, so that's the thing. Even just our local stars are so far away. The fastest thing we've ever sent would take 50,000 years to get to the nearest star.
It's a long way, isn't it?
It is. It's kind of like a bit.
Sorry, you broke up then.
I said it's kind of like watching Blade Runner.
No. Blade Runner is one of the best sci-fi movies ever made.
Yeah, Blade Runner, the second one though, isn't.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it should be dubbed Ryan Gosling Stares again.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've
got one more. Got Lee.
So Lee Duggley says, any predictions for the next Sony State of Play? When will it be, and what games will be announced? How they're going to match Xbox great E3 presentation? Over to you, Haydn.
Maybe an new Uncharted game in development.
To coincide with the movie?
Yeah, I don't think as, a game version of the movie, but, they might do a, Nathan Drake, the early years or something like that.
Yeah.
And also I'm predicting Uncharted, more details about the PC release. Uncharted 4, that is.
Yeah. What about the I'll play what else there is really. Final Fantasy, we know where that's moving to. That's sort of all been said about now, so that's all in place. Horizon Zero Dawn, we know where that's going at the moment, so that's already been talked about.
Yeah.
What about any new IPs, maybe?
Possibly, but obviously with it being, Sony, and if it's a new IP, it'd be difficult to predict. I think we might find out more about the new God of War game.
Yeah, that's what I was probably. That's probably that would be my call for it.
Isn't it God of War Ragnarok or something it's called?
Yeah, why is it called that? I do not know, because it just throws me apart with that. I'm expecting Thor to come thundering down.
Have you played the last God of War game?
Yes, I have. I do own it, actually.
Okay.
Never finished it.
Did you complete it?
I did.
Because that was, like Loki and all of that on that, wasn't it? I think.
Really? Is it? Okay.
Sure it was.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. It's a good game, though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like that format better than the previous God of War games, but it was more the style of game I like to play. That third-person sort of action-adventure sort of thing, rather than
Well, could we see one of my favourite games? Could we see another Persona game?
Yeah, Persona 5. How can we milk this franchise until it's dead?
There is rumours that it was coming to the Xbox, but that it wasn't obviously in the presentation. But there was rumours that Persona 5 was coming to the Xbox.
That would be a big loss for them, as well as a big gain at the same time.
Because I think Atlas has always been a sort of a Sony product in there, isn't it? It's never. Mind you saying that Catherine is Atlas as well, and that moved across,
that did move across, but I think Persona 5
they did the tweet with it for the newer version, which I played, and I completed that one.
And that was a 100-hour game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I actually, what did I do? I actually did 2 or 3 endings in that one as well, because I was able to do it where the saves were. I was able to tweak it.
Yeah, you cheated. You didn't replay it all again.
Well, you didn't need to, because you're able to do. So it's the same with Fallout, for example, for getting the achievements in Fallout. Yeah. There's a certain point in the game where you can actually then be Mr. Nasty than Mr. Nice.
Yeah. Do you blow up Atomic City or do you leave it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Not that you got that far in the game.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
We don't need to bring up Bethesda with you, because it's something else that we'll fall asleep at. Anything else? Any other ideas before we go?
No, I don't think so. I'm just really quite interested to see what they have to offer.
Yeah. When is it going to be? Do we know?
I'm not sure. Probably end of this month or something like that. Be sometime this month.
Because I think in August, is it August when we get the German game show?
Maybe.
Game Fest. I don't know if it's been announced yet.
I don't know. I've not been. I'm not a big follower of the German one.
No, but you normally get stuff that would come out, so it might be a thing. Looking at that.
I mean, if you look at when the state of plays for Sony have taken place, they've been 25th of February, 29th of April, and 27th of May. So kind of indicates it'll probably be the end of this month. Maybe get Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah, that's been one of the ones that wasn't announced, wasn't it?
No, and there was that Forspoken as well, wasn't there? Might see some more information from the RPG from Square Enix. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so that's it. So, Steve, do you want to do your contact details?
Sure. So, Twitter @Steve07. Xbox gamer tag is Steve07. The PlayStation one is the real Steve07. Instagram Steve0764, and my YouTube channel is Steve07 for music, movies, gaming, and stuff like that.
Cool. For me, it's HERJ UK on Twitter, Xbox Live, PlayStation, Steam, all of that sort of stuff. But Pop Culture Gamers on Epic. If you want to follow the show, you can follow the show now on YouTube. On our
got that 100.
YouTube.com/Pop Culture Gamers. Yay, we got there. We've got Twitter, Pop Culture Gamer, our Facebook group and our Facebook page. You can go to those. You can also email us with podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk or visit our website anchor.fm/popculturegamers. And that's it for another week. So hopefully we'll be here same time next week, unless Steve can says otherwise.
We'll see.
We'll see. And other than that, it's a good night from me.
And a good night from me.
Good night.